Hello everyone, welcome to our art program, and it is cardboard sculptures. We're going to use the base of cardboard as our base, but I'm adding a lot of other things into it. I'm going to have bags for you which filled with all different types of recycled objects from my recycle bin, art supplies that we have odds and ends from around our own supply closets. But I also want you to go out into nature. Look for rocks, pebbles, small ones of course, and look for pine cones, sticks, long dried pieces of grass that could be used for hair or something. And you're wondering, why would I want to use long dried pieces of grass for hair? I'm going to show you. This is a copy of the handout that's going to be in the bags for you. And I'm going to just start off with the concept of symmetrical versus asymmetrical. If you look at the butterfly wings here, it's a symmetrical design because what is on one side will also be on the other side. You can see the design is replicated. It's like a mirror image of it, which is what's happening in this sculpture piece is the example. Oh no, it's not happening in this one. We have the eyes are opposite, which kind of makes you look at it a little bit more. This is called asymmetrical. This one is symmetrical. Now if we take a look at this sculptured face, this one doesn't use as much cardboard. That's a base for it, but it is symmetrical eyes. They're back and forth, but the artist has taken into altering the colors on each side. It's not symmetrical as far as colors go, which makes the viewer take a longer look at this piece than the first one. We're trying to make sense of it. Look at even the nostrils are two different colors, which is really cool. So there are ways to make your viewer who's looking at your piece stare at your completed artwork a little longer. Some of the supplies that you're going to need from home. Well, let me first go over to here. Over here you can see here's where someone has taken pine cones and placed them on the piece. It's very gentle looking, isn't it? But it's beautiful texture here. Here someone had taken leaves and just dried leaves and hot glued them down. Here we have someone who has layered the cardboard. So you have your outside, they cut around the edge of the face, and as they went into where the nose is, they have just layered them up with smaller and smaller shapes. This pine cone is going all wobbly on me. I'm going to choose something that has less of a, how's that? Okay. Over here, we have, it's symmetrical sides, but what I'm pointing out to you in this one, they used paper mache to cover it up and then painted it. All their different layers, I'm not suggesting that today. But what I wanted you to see was how they cut the edges down on the bottom to have a fringe along there, adding more texture into their piece. They have a lot of color, lots of beads and bottle caps and things they placed on there and then painted over it. You can paint it if you wish. It's all up to you. Then we also have this one here. It's popsicle sticks up here. How they use them and how you angle the popsicle stick gave this sculpture a emotion. It's an angry emotion with the bottle caps on there. Over here, straws were used. They did a rabbit. You could do animals if you wish. And we can see there's bottle caps, or it's like maybe a cap of a mouthwash bottle or something. But there's the straws going both ways. I like that. Over here, again, this one's symmetrical. We can see there's two caps. It looks like it might be the caps from a washing detergent. And they've added the details. I hope you can see that on there. They're pipe cleaners that they hot glued onto it. Just tape for the nose, and the actual bottle cap is the neck for the item. I like that. Here, somebody must have gone into their garage and ask your parents first and go into the junk drawers. You can see here they've got springs springs for the eyebrows and such. There's washers. This looks like it was a clamp for something. If your dad putzes around in the garage or your mom on vehicles, see what kind of things they have in a bin somewhere. They bought too much of an item and there it sits and you can use it. This is a light bulb for the nose. Really like that. And again, this is symmetrical. We can see both eyes are across from each other. They're mirroring each other's emotion with the angle of the eyebrows, the horns on top. It's symmetrical. Let's go back to this one. That's symmetrical. That's sort of symmetrical. The line here in the middle kind of fools us because there's more on this side than that side. That's symmetrical. Here's another animal. It looks like they cut the edge of a box for the nose, for the long nose and the snout, so you don't have to bend the cardboard. It's already bent for you. But here where they curved the piece with cutting it in the curve to go around the edge of the tiger's face, and then they bent the middle to add more texture. There's the eyeball, all the different details between the iris, the pupil, and then the little white dot is the pupil within the black, but it's really nice. Texture within the whiskers. They've got color for the tongue. There's more down below it. But there's lots of detail in this that's added to the image. Here is very cool. They've taken the cardboard and they've torn pieces from it. There's a corner again of a box that they've just hot glued onto it, or we're using Elmer's glue. The eyes, look at the eyes there. There's details on that with pieces of cardboard from here was torn to place there. You've got the material under the eyes, above it, the eyelashes, the color in there, lots of detail. There is a flower up in her hair. Her nails are painted, so she's added more. There's a little teeth inside. There's her lips. Very interesting to look at. This one I liked. Look down here, they've placed keys. You could take those keys and flip them over and have the round part. If I go this way with this, don't get sick on me now. But can you see where the eyes would be, and then what would be above it could be somehow like one humongo eyelash? But I like the idea of finding some old keys to use. There's lots of different objects. You'll have to take a look at it when you get it in the bag. Here they've used a spoon. Look how it's upside down. I'm enjoying that. Look for other objects that your mom might have that are spare pieces of silverware, and she wouldn't mind you hot gluing it to a project. Make sure you ask. Here's raffia. Look at that. This is out of, they've taken beads and pulled it through and knotted it to have it, give it stiff. I don't have any raffia for you, but maybe you have some at home. And this, look at the lace. I know they've used it for a skirt on here, but you could take that and use it for hair or texture or eyebrows or eyelashes on your project. I want to show you how they would have taken a piece of cardboard and just started tearing. I'm just going to grab it here. And pulling those pieces up. And if I place mine over here, you can kind of see how this would glue down. Look at the nice curls that are formed on there, that you could add it onto it and do a whole curls for a hair that would look quite nice. Great texture. I like adding texture to my work. This is what I've started on, and I like the use of the pine cones. I thought the texture was fabulous, but I wanted to make this mine, so I found cinnamon sticks, and I broke them in half into thirds, and then I hot glued it down into the little pieces here, just to add some, I can't see what I'm doing without looking at it, April. When you look at this, I was making this while sitting down, and you can see in here, I thought this was, oh, this is great. This is the mouth. I'm going to put a piece of pink felt here for the tongue. But once I turned it up, looking straight at it, I thought, what is that piece of cardboard there? It doesn't look like anything at all. So I'm going to have to take that off and do something different. But I have angled a piece of cardboard for the nose. I've got the eyebrows, and what I did for the eyebrows, I was playing around with a piece of, it's an egg carton. I'd cut it apart, and I liked the naturalness of it. And I just saw this curve already on this, and just pulled it out to see what I could get, what type of shape. I like that shape, and glued it down. I didn't want the sharp edges of a scissors, just something soft of just pulling it apart with my hand, because it seemed to stay with the natural look that I have going on here. So that's why I use the cardboard for this, and the soft eyebrows. I want you to see that hair on there. I just love the pine cones. The texture is just eye candy. Then I was having difficulty thinking about what am I going to do for the eyes. And I thought this was great. I have some earrings that my mom, they were clip-on, that she didn't want anymore and gave me to do with whatever I wanted. So I'm going to hold on a second. You can see I placed one of the earrings here, and it's just too big. This one's even bigger. I don't care for that one either. I have this one that's white, and I kind of like that, but I'm still going to keep playing around. I don't have to find it right now. I'm going to keep looking around to see what I might find to use for this. So I'm still working on it. When I'm done, you guys can come in and see what I actually accomplished. Wanted to pull around. I've put some feathers in some boxes also. You might have some feathers at home. This feather could have been placed in her hair somewhere. I just chose not to for my sake. Remember, you're the artist. You decide what you'd like to use. I also have a plastic spoon here. One of those samples had the spoon could be hot glued down, and then have your eyes hot glued next to it and work around it, and that would be the nose. It was a choice that I just happened to not make. We also have corks I've placed in some of your bags. Maybe you could have your mom or dad cut that, and you could use those pieces around to use for hair somehow. You could also find, since everybody's going through soap bottles like crazy, pump soap, I have this, which is from the base of the other, and inside there's a wire, but there's different pieces on here that I could pull out to see what I would like to do. This could also come down on the cardboard. I'm doing some switching around here, everyone. It's hard to teach an art class when I'm not right there so you guys can put your hands on things. So this is a little too bulky for me, so I'm going to try to pull it apart and see what I would get. Got some eggs in each one. You can go halvesies. Use one eye that is facing off this way, one eye is facing off upward. We could do an asymmetrical look. There's shapes for a mouth. Again, its details are important. I could try to figure out how to get maybe little pebbles in there for the teeth. I could use a different shaped mouth. This is the top of a pickle jar. And I can place something around it and put the teeth and tongue inside. Look for material. You can take your toilet paper roll and cut different pieces in this, and then cut edges for eyelashes. Here's two different tops that could be used as eyes, and I've got white that could go into it. This one's lower, this one's higher, so it's starting to go asymmetrical. This is symmetrical. I could always take it like this. I can use a smaller one for the eye and then put in, I have two green tops. So there's the pupils in the eyes looking at me. I could have that up here, glue it, so they're really looking all over the place. So it gives it more of a humorous look. Or I could keep them both solidly in the middle or looking at each other, move the eyes closer. All of that will give your sculpture piece a personality. I also have, I had a clear egg carton, and I thought, okay, if I have eyes on there, I can take this, I can cut an edge off, and I've got goggles. I thought that was pretty funny. I can put some other things on it or have it go this way. I like that, if you guys can see that. I thought that was interesting. Reminds me of one of those characters in Star Wars. I also found this in my recycle bin that kind of looks like a smirking mouth almost. So I'm going to play around with that, or I'll put it in one of the bins for somebody to open up their bag and go, oh, I've got that smirking mouth. I've got some bigger containers also. I'm not sure what I'd want to do with that, but it could be a mouth with the larger eyes. If the eyes are so big, I might want a big mouth and maybe have fire coming out of it. Maybe you're going to be making a dragon. I'm not sure. Wherever your ideas take you, go with it. Don't worry about what I'm doing, what somebody else is doing. Whatever seems to strike your imagination. Also had some glitter. You might want to put some glitter down on it if you're into glitter. Trying to think of all the different pieces I have in the art projects here. I've also put pipe cleaners into your bags. You can cut them. What's neat also, you can twirl it around your finger. You can get your base. So I would use hot glue gun on that, but you can make it stand up. You've got a nice texture coming out, maybe with bottle caps and that for hair on a sculptured face. Be a good alien looking, or just some new creature on the planet. Any questions that you have or anything, you can always just give me a call at the library and I can help you along. And if I'm not here, I'll give you a call back when I am. I hope all of you have fun with your project. I'm going to be going back into my project and making different decisions. I know I am going to keep the hair. That's the part that I love a lot. So I'm just going to have to pull this off and rework it. So if you can see once I pull that off, oh, I kind of like what was left there. Her little mouth going, ooh. So maybe now all I have to do is work to find her eyes. Lo and behold, in the middle of an accident, you find exactly what you want. I'm going to have to cut around this, I think, too. So I hope you all have a lot of fun with your sculpture piece. Look in cabinets, spice racks, see if you have any of these. These are just so versatile. And you got to show me or send me pictures of what you've done. I'd really like to see it. Bye, everyone, and have a great art-filled, fun day.